Okay, well, this video is all about reduction and using kind of reduction formulas, but I use a certain technique for doing it that maybe, hopefully, it'll kind of help you. It's really a place to get a lot of marks, a question like this, because here we have it, the tangent of 330 degrees, the sine of 120, the sine of 260, and all this stuff. And you're supposed to simplify it, but you can't use a calculator without using a calculator. Well, I have a thing called WWS. My first thing is I have to go to where it is. Let's start with 330 degrees. Well, I go around 0, 90, 180, 260. That's where 330 degrees is. That's your first job, 330 degrees. Now, this is the horizontal. You need to find out what's called the reference angle, the angle that would fit in here. Well, there's 330, and all the way around here is to 360. 360 minus 330, that reference angle must be 30 degrees. Well, I've got what I call the wedge, 30 degrees. So this should be the tangent of 30 degrees. But my problem is I've got to figure out what sine is it. Well, y is negative, the opposite is negative, and the adjacent side, x, is going to be positive. A negative over a positive is negative. So I don't have to do that all stations to Cape Town. If you use all stations to Cape Town, you'll know that the fourth quadrant tangent is negative. That's why you write minus tangent 30, and you get a full mark for that. Let's look at this one, the sine of 120. We go to where 120 degrees is, and that's our first job. Where is it? Now we got to look for the reference angle, the wedge that's formed between 120 and this horizontal 180 degrees. Well, 120, 180, 180 minus 120, the reference angle is 60 degrees. And my only problem is sine positive or negative up here in the second quadrant? As you have to know, sine is positive in the first and the second quadrant. So this sine 120 just turns in the sine of 60. I go to where it is, I get the reference angle of 60, and I know this sine is positive. That's why it's sine 60. Well, 260, oh, I haven't done this one, but I'm going to do it now. Say I go to 260 degrees, it'd be down here somewhere, 260 degrees. Well, that's the third quadrant, and sine is negative there. It's 80 degrees past 180, so the reference angle is 80 degrees, but it's negative the sine of 80 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at this one, the cosine of 225. We go all the way around to where 225 is. Hey, it's gone 45 degrees past 180. That makes the reference angle 45 degrees. But my problem is cosine negative there? Yes, it is. Cosine's negative in the third quadrant. That's why it's minus the cosine of 45 degrees. Let's look at the sine of 405 degrees. 405, where is that? That's all the way around 360 plus 45. It's in the first quadrant. The reference is 45 degrees. 405 minus 360, the reference is 45 degrees. So it's just the sine of 45. The sine of minus 10, oh, that minus 10 there. Oh, the cosine of minus 10, rather. Well, cosine's positive there. That's why it's just turned into the cosine of 10. Okay, well, we're just about finished now. Now what we need to do is draw the special triangles. You really have to draw those special triangles. And when you look at your special triangle and you go to 30 degrees, I should have put it here so that you could look at it, but I don't have the special triangle. The opposite side over the adjacent side is 1 over 3. If you go to your special triangle and you look at 60 degrees, the opposite over the hypotenuse of 2, it's root 3 over 2. 45 degrees, adjacent over hypotenuse, is 1 over root 2. You've got to have that special triangle drawn so you can look at it. The sine of 45 is 1 over root 2. Hi. And then the last one, the cosine of, oh, we've already done that. But see this sine of 80? You can rub it out and put the cosine of 10 degrees. That's called a cofunction. You can rewrite sine of 80 and change it to cosine of 10. And that's the big trick there. Now that cos 10 cancels. You've got 1, 2, 3 negatives. That makes your final answer negative. You could put this in a calculator actually. At this stage, you're going to get root 3 over 3. This is going to be 1 over 2. Um, yeah, it looks like when you put this into it, when you work this out, you can see that you have 1 over 2 here. It looks like you're going to have 1 over, it says 1 over 2 in the top. That means that this tangent of 30, that should be root 3. Ah, that's a little mistake in the memo. I'm just going to change that to root 3 right there. Now we can see, now you can see that root 3 and that root 3 cancel. That's what you've got 1 over 2 in the top, 1 over 2 in the bottom. The cosines cancel. There's 3 negatives, make it a negative, but the final answer is 1. And that's it. That's the whole thing done. Okay, I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Okay.